I got big tidbits. You are listening to Tidbits. And what is this tidbit about? Lockdown stress busters.
Sex absolutely helps in relieving stress. And I think a lot of times with women, it is difficult for them to kind of express their sexuality, their sexual needs.
So, working from home or spending as much time at home comes with its own advantages. And the S word, yes, stress. Complete Atmanirbharta. That's what's also been tested now. So, how do you deal with the stress? And how do you put that smile on your face? So, study shows that women are more likely than men to report symptoms of stress, including headaches and upset stomach. Women are also more likely to have mental health conditions that are made worse by stress. So, are women aware of this fact?
Hi, my name is Richa Vashishta. My pronouns are she and her. And I am a mental health professional. I am based out of Bombay with a master's in clinical psychology. First of all, it's very important to understand as to how the Indian society has looked at men and women and the issues that would come with it because we have things like patriarchy that exist. So I think that it's important to look at gender that plays a role with mental health concerns and how issues would affect, men and women differently. So if you're looking at depression, anxiety, or different mental health concerns, it would mean different things because the causes for it would mean different for men and the causes for it could mean different for women. And I think with being a woman in the Indian society is difficult because you are then considered the lower gender of a particular society. So that can be a huge cause for a lot of mental health concerns in women.
Hi, I'm Radhika. Yeah, women are usually more stressed than men as they tend to get more worked up about things, and men remain to still be, a bit more calmer by nature. However, I would not like to generalize it because there are so many more instances where, do get more stressed out than women. So, obviously, stress is not gender centric. People have different ways of coping up with it, but by majority vote, women do get stressed out more than men since some are managing home work, kids, balancing her personal relationship and everything else. So the ability to perceive stress is also different in males and females. So as seen in so many studies, they do suggest that women do go through a lot of emotional trauma also, or they overthink more, which causes emotional stress.
Hello, I'm Srija from Bangalore. Yeah, women stay more stressed than men because I feel that most of the women they overthink. Like, I do, that's why I'm telling that. But usually, we overthink. Something has happened, we'll keep thinking about that and how to fix it. And then at night, we won't get sleep, due to which obviously lack of sleep will cause anxiety. And that leads to stressing about that whole thing due to overthinking.
Considering the lockdown is here to stay, how are women keeping their minds well balanced and healthy?
During this lockdown, all of us have been, tight in the four walls of our homes. So it is quite natural to feel a bit of those negative emotions like stress and anxiety, given all the negative events that are happening around us. So we wake up and it's like, oh, so many new cases, this, that. I mean, it's obvious to feel so anxious and stressful, especially for the one who are out the entire day and return home only at night. This would be a total 360-degree change in routine. However, for the safety of ourselves and others near us, we got to do what we got to do. So, a few tips on coping up with stress and anxiety this lockdown. I really think that, we should channelize our thoughts into something productive rather than nagging about this lockdown and, don't see it as an impediment to life. This time is never going to come again. So, make the most out of it. To cope up with stress and anxiety and various other negative emotions, you can probably keep yourselves busy. Try to stick to your normal routine as much as possible, what your life was before the lockdown. If you had a particular routine, try to stick as much as possible to it. Keep your exercises going on. I'm sure you can do spot running if you were the kind who was running in the park every day. There are so many exercises. There are so many videos on YouTube. Read some books. You have so much time to spend with your family. Watch a movie. You can really become a chef after this lockdown.
A lot of people are experiencing different things such as anxiety, depression, finding it difficult to be able to cope with work. Also, doing your own household chores, it can really take a toll on you because you're not used to this kind of a lifestyle. For a lot of people, they are stuck in very unfavorable environments at home. So it could be toxic, it could be some form of abuse that's taking place. So I think it's important to kind of keep giving yourself some time in a particular day where you can just address how you're feeling, address how a day has been like for you. So something that I do personally and I suggest clients to do is journaling. It could be doodling, anything just to be able to express yourself and just give yourself some time in a particular day.
We can definitely use some expert guidance as well.
Hi, I'm Urmi Kothari, the energy coach and founder of Kinetic Living. I think what people are struggling with during this lockdown are two things. One is definitely the sleep cycle, and almost everyone's circadian rhythms are disturbed. And I would really recommend that try to sleep and wake up at the same time so that you can maintain that cycle, and try to avoid screens at least post 8 p.m. so that your body has a signal to slow down. Another thing that you can do is designate certain areas in the house which are meant for certain activities. For example, just your living room to eat and to do your work, and your workout can only be outdoors in your rooftop or in your balcony. Let your bedroom only be a place where you come to relax and read if need be, or listen to some music, or maybe do some creative work like do Zentangle art or do just mandala coloring. So this can help your mind to sort of have some context when it comes to certain spaces, because right now we all are locked up in our homes. And another thing that people are struggling with is connection with their friends and their family, which is very important. So I would really recommend have online calls, or you can do just audio calls with your friends while either making food or enjoying a nice drink occasionally. Or in the summer, you can really make some nice lemonades. Like I usually do this. I make a ginger ale with ginger, lemon, and rock salt. You can put a lot of ice as well. And another thing that I really enjoy making is iced smoothie. So I don't use water, but I use ice and a fruit and a protein powder. And that's usually my lunch. So also keeping your body light during this heat and avoiding heavy foods can make you feel less lethargic and automatically make you feel better about your day.
And how can we release the stress? What are the usual stress busters that women resort to?
Mine is obviously shopping. I love to shop. If I'm stressed, I'll just ask who are free, my friends, and I'll just go with them, go out shopping and buy things and come. Okay, and like if you're stressed due to your work or work pressure or related to studies, maybe, and if you can take out some time or if you can take a leave for 2 to 3 days, then just go on a vacation, just go and chill there, relax, and come back and continue. I assure you, you'll be fine.
I think a beautiful way of how women take care of their mental health is women are always been told that, they should express themselves. So whether it is talking, whether it is crying, you'll see women who are a lot more comfortable in terms of expressing their emotions is compared to men. When you ask a man like, okay, cry or share what you're feeling like, men have been conditioned for decades, and a lot of families have always told men not to respond or react in a particular way. And I think that's an advantage for women because it's okay to be able to express yourself. So I think women could take care of their mental health in different ways, such as if they find peace and happiness, whether it is cooking, whether it is taking care of things, whether it is maintaining a balance and doing things for themselves.
Dancing, exercise, yoga. It could even be baking a cake or, cooking something one likes. And this, I think, driving the car for many is a favorite, including mine.
So we all know that our thoughts can really translate into our bodies, and that can show up in the form of either any tightness or aches or pains. So generally, because our sitting times have increased a lot more, a lot of stress can build up around the neck, shoulders, and upper back area, and the mid back area, especially even with all the house chores. So I would really recommend them to do cat stretches and standing spine roll downs to decrease the stress around the neck and shoulder area. etc. Even neck rotations, side to side stretches of the neck can really help you lengthen out the muscles around the neck. Another way to release upper back and mid back stiffness, especially if you have a yoga teacher's guidance, is doing shoulder stand, because it really helps you to stretch out the entire back of the body, and halasan, which is the plow pose. Also, these are inversions, and inversions can really help you improve your blood circulation to the heart and also the head. And this improves oxygenation, and at the same time it is really helpful in bowel movements, but also mentally it can help you to relieve any feelings of depression. It can make you feel rejuvenated if you are feeling very fatigued and exhausted, which is very common if there is a lot of stress in your body. And one more thing is, if you are a very high emotionally charged person, and especially if you're having a lot of emotional response to this lockdown, being alone or in isolation, then your hips can also get very tight. And that's why I would recommend another move, which is the pigeon stretch, which will completely stretch your hips, and also the Anjaneyasana, which will help you stretch your hip flexors, that is in the front of the leg near the hip crease, and that will help you counter all the sitting as well. So all our emotions are stored in hips, so we really need to release our hips and lower back, because tight hips can also lead to lower back pain, which definitely we don't want during this lockdown.
So let's face it, resorting to sexual pleasure can also make you less paranoid and, release stress. So, how many of us actually use sex as a stress buster? So, here is what we need to understand better.
Yes, absolutely. I think that it's a physical need, it is emotional need, it's a romantic need, it's something that helps you stay connected with your partner. So sex absolutely helps in relieving stress. And I think a lot of times with women, it is difficult for them to kind of express their sexuality, their sexual needs. So a lot of the conversations that I have with whether it's companies or my personal clients would be around embracing your own sexuality and, just being a lot more sex positive in nature.
But the main concern is, do we actually address the fact that sometimes we are having more stress than usual, or that this stress is affecting our mental health and well being way more than it used to before? Because it's just us and our family members and the four walls now. So, accepting the issue is the first step to the solution, right?
I think that India in general shies away from addressing mental health issues. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, whatever your gender identity is, but it is more about that how India looks at mental health and addressing mental health concerns, how it is considered a taboo or a stigma. So even if I have to say that, okay, I think I'm not feeling too great and I don't know what to do about it, going to a therapist or a counselor is not something that comes to us naturally. We feel like only if it is very difficult and we don't know if we have a way out of the situation, and only when it is like an SOS situation should we go and see a therapist. But I think we should compare mental health to physical health. So if you have a cold or if you have a fever, you would want to go to a doctor, right? So similarly in that situation, if you are not feeling too great mentally, I think it's absolutely okay to go to a therapist.
Last but not the least, breathing the right way can change the game.
I'm Dr. Devanshi Vora. I'm a physiotherapist and a fitness trainer. Our breathing pattern really has a lot to do with our mind, the tension, and the stress. So, I want you guys to put an alarm and close your eyes, sit in a relaxed position, and I want you guys to inhale for 4 seconds, hold that breath for 4 seconds, and exhale out for around 6 to 8 seconds. This entire cycle should be repeated for about 3 minutes. Breathing in a right way is going to help you relax and clarify that mind. It's time I find another hot topic to make you uncomfortable with. Catch the Tidbits podcast on Hauterfly every Wednesday.